Being a zombie would be awesome, wouldn't it? No work or school to go to, hanging out with your mates down at the local cemetery, before popping home for your favourite dinner, brains on toast. Well, what if I told you there was a game on the Switch that allowed you to experience this for yourself? So, is this a thriller, or should it have stayed dead? Let's find out. Before we start, I just want to thank developers Awesome Game Studio for the review copy of this game. iZombie mixes up the usual zombie formula by putting you in the shoes of the shuffling, undead brain muncher. It's a bit like that film, Warm Bodies, only without the whole falling in love bit. There's no real story to tell you of, you just need to eat humans. The gameplay sees you placed on an overhead map. You start in one corner of the map and must zombify all humans on the map to pass the level. You do this by standing next to them until their life bar depletes and they become a zombie too. Unarmed humans will attempt to run and armed humans will shoot at you and attempt to kill you. The idea is that the more humans you turn to zombies, the more zombies you then have to try and zombify the remaining humans on the map. You only ever control your original zombie, and if he dies you fail the level. You can give basic commands to your zombie army. Press the Y button to get your troops to follow you, and press the A button to make them stop. Pressing B will get your troops to make a beeline for the nearest human and attack them. Most humans walk on a predetermined path, but unfortunately you cannot really sneak up on them. They will always see you no matter how stealthy you try to be. If you are on a stage with just humans with guns, the only real strategy you initially have is to try desperately to overpower the nearest human by launching at them and hoping that he dies before you do. Thankfully your health and that of your army regenerates over time, allowing you to use this method, stop and recover and then move on. If you are hit with a bullet though, you slow down to an absolute crawl, so although technically you can take about 5 shots before you are killed, in reality if you are shot once, you move so slowly they will keep getting you and you will die. The objectives on some levels do change over time, including things like having to kill the scientist and avoid the soldiers, and eventually things like indestructible turrets are introduced. The game is very light on strategy, and with a lot of the levels, I felt like there was only one real way to progress, as the odds were stacked so far against you if you tried any other way. Good strategy games give you the tools to succeed and then let you achieve success however you want. Here there seems to be more of an illusion of being in control, and it makes the game feel a bit more puzzle based. Gameplay gets a 10 out of 20. The controls are very simple, and as already mentioned, you have 3 main commands. Your character is responsive enough and there are no major problems here. One frustrating feature is how if you order your troops to attack, they will do this but then continue to attack the next target straight after. A lot of the time, you will probably not be ready to do this, as you will want to retreat and regain a little health first. You can stop them from doing this by pressing the A button, but sometimes mid-battle it all gets a bit fiddly and you'll end up losing a few more characters than you really could afford to. This will lead to a few deaths and can be quite annoying. That being said though, there are no major issues with the controls and they receive a 13 out of 20. The graphics are simple and have that mobile phone flash animation look about them. The zombies are portrayed with exaggerated eyes and head size, and the human characters are stereotypical scientists in their white lab coats, grunt soldiers and nervous looking civilians. The game is just a bit drab looking. Most levels consist of greens, browns and dark reds, with plenty of crates and damaged houses thrown in for good measure. Some of the levels have a snow theme to them, and this mixes it up a bit, but it just means that you are now looking at whites, light blues and browns for the next 10 levels instead. The graphics are serviceable at best, but very mediocre, and one level never really distinguishes itself from the next, and I would give them a score of 8 out of 20. There are a couple of different tunes in the game and they repeat every other level. They are okay, sounding a bit like a discount version of the music found in Plants vs Zombies. With maybe a little bit of the Pink Panther thrown in too. Each tune lasts for about 90 seconds before looping back to the start, but considering that most levels do not last this long, it's not the end of the world. Sound effects include rain lashing down in some levels, gunfire, and of course the obligatory zombie moans. Again, music is passable, but not much more than that, and this receives 9 out of 20. The The game costs £4.49 or $4.99. It has 30 levels, 20 standard and 10 more with a winter theme, and they will not take a huge amount of time to get through. You are rewarded up to 3 stars for each level. These are rewarded for things like how many zombies survived or how quickly you finish the level. And this will add some longevity if you are someone that enjoys chasing such things. Something that the game does have, which I will give it major credit for, is a level creator. You can add buildings, crates and other obstacles to a level, as well as adding enemies and creating a path for them to walk on. You can save your levels and choose whether to keep them private or share them for others to try over the internet. You can play levels that other people have uploaded and rate them after playing them. There were a fair few levels to try on launch day, and some of them were of a good standard, at least on par with the actual levels in the game themselves. This feature does a lot to extend its life, and at the price you are paying it could lead to endless playability if you are the sort of person that enjoys creating your own levels and if the community grows to a decent size. I give props to the game for this feature, and for value it gets 14 out of 20. To conclude, iZombie is a strange game. I still can't really decide if it's a strategy game with very little strategy or a very unremarkable puzzle game. Either way, it's a little disappointing, but then it throws a fairly decent level editor at you for a fairly decent price. If you are the sort of person that has zero interest in creating your own content, then you should probably deduct about 10 points off of the final score. But if you rejoice at the very sight of the words level creator in a game, then you can probably add about another 10 on. With all that being said, the final score is 54%. Thank you as always for watching this video, and please keep it switch up for all things Switch all the time, and as always, happy gaming.